Another great capacity that I think all competitors need to have. I think you have to have a capability to be young at heart. I think we face a lot of stress, a lot of difficulty, but to be able to be in a situation and be able to still have play be an important part of our life. I remember it was during the championships with the Patriots, and I had moved down to Harvard Square. Bill Walton, who was playing at the Celtics, was my friend from years ago when he was at the Stanford Law School, and he encouraged me. He says, "Look, you need to move down to Harvard Square." And I was planning to go to Harvard in the off season. I was working on the collective bargaining agreement, which gave me a year's worth of graduate credit at Harvard, and all I needed to do was finish up. And so I bought a place right on Irving Street, 44 Irving Street, in Harvard Square. And so as I was there, one of the things that impressed me is all the richness, all the diversity, all the amazing people that aren't from my background, that have new points of view, that have interesting ideas, that are creative in their thinking, that stand upon great ideals. And so it was a interesting time for me to be there in that environment. But I remember this particular day, out of the blue, I hear in the newspaper that Roger Clemens was signing autographs down at the bookstore. Now, one of my great loves is the love of baseball. And in fact, if you reply, I'll send you a book that I wrote. It's called When I Was Little, I Was Big. It's a magnificent story. It's written as a children's book. It's a profound, fun, entertaining reads for children. It is a remarkable transformational read for leaders that must make the impossible happen. So I'll be happy to give you the download so you can get that. But I was racing over there, and I was standing in this long line waiting for his autograph. And just before I got to the front, Roger got up and he said, "Look, he's got to go." He waved to everybody. "Thank you very much." And as he did, my heart just sank. I was like, here's an opportunity, because baseball was my first love. Willie Mays and Hank Aaron and Don Drysdale were all, Kurt Flood and were Bob Gibson and Mickey Mantle. I mean, they were just all great heroes of mine. And so there I was with Roger Clemens. I was this close away from him, and it kind of I lost the perspective because I played pro sports, but he just seemed so much bigger to life for me because of my love for baseball. It was the child in me, the play in me that made it so fun and so interesting. So as he was getting ready to leave, he turned and he spoke to me and he said, "Is that Brian Holloway?" And so I looked at him and I was like, I couldn't believe he was talking to me. And the guy next to me in line elbowed me and said, "Hey, Clemens is talking. That's your name. Talk to him." And so I sort of snapped out of it and I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Man, I love football." Now he was at SMU with Craig James, who was my running back, and they were great friends. And he said, "Brian, come over here." And I says, "Where are you going right now?" I came here to get your autograph." He goes, "No, I'll give you much more. Can you come with me? Because I have to get over to the stadium." So I says, "Yeah." I wasn't doing anything. So I went over and he says, "Come on in the locker room." Now, at this point, I've been in locker rooms all over the country, so it's no big deal. But for stepping into a baseball locker room, my heart was beating. I mean, this is the home of Babe Ruth and Ted Williams and Tony Caligiero. So my heart was racing. I stepped into the locker room, and Roger said, "What do you want?" And I said, "I just want your autograph." And he grabbed a bat bag and stuffed it full of stuff for me to give away or to auction off to one of the charities I support. And I said, "Roger, this was unbelievable. I can't believe it. Thank you very much." And he signed an autograph for me. And he says, "Look, Brian, I've got to ask a favor of you. I love football. I love football. I can't think of anything else but football. But, baseball became what I did." And he said, "Is it possible for you to get me on the sideline?" I said, "Look, Roger, I know you're like the biggest star ever here, but I can't do that. It's like me asking if I could sit in the dugout." And he goes, "Well, listen, I'm going to be playing in the World Series pitching. Here's my tickets to the World Series. I want you to think about, please get me on the sideline." And he gave me those tickets, and I looked at him, and I literally started to weep because I was getting a chance to go to the World Series. Now, it just never clicked that I could afford to actually go. But the fact is, Roger Clemens gave me these tickets, and you have to know my past, so you have to read this book to know. I was just such an emotional moment. I was so grateful. I said, "Roger, thank you so much." And then I said, "I will do whatever I could to get you on the sideline." And so I was sitting there in World Series watching them pitch. I was just all emotional, and I just could hardly even catch my breath. And I've been in stadiums all my life. So it's important for us to have that playful child side of ourselves that restores us, to keep us young, to keep a perspective, to be able to sit there and enjoy something on a rich and a deep level, even though it's something that you could do. So he really brought that out in me, and I'm treasured to him for that amazing experience. And then the next season, I was sitting there on the field, and I was getting ready to step on the field, and I looked down the sideline, and there's this little guy. Now he's little to me. He's wearing his baseball cap on backwards, and he's looking out. He smiles and he's waving at me, and I forgot I was able to get him on the sideline, that was just a rich experience that athletes will share with each other. But I think part in business is we have to have the capability to have fun and to play and to laugh and bring that into our business experience. And certainly, of course, bring it into our family experience, because that's the thing that matters the most anyway, right?